And then you'll be able to send us a copy of the notes too, right?
Absolutely. So I'll show you how all of this works, and we'll go through everything. So we actually use a system called Monday.com. It's our project management system, and all the notes, documents, everything will be posted there. And so you could go in there, and I'll show you how to download and where that's all located in a moment.
Okay.
Cool. So today we'll just do quick introductions. I'll show you our implementation process. Just have some questions for just to get us started. I'll show you that project management tool. We may or may not jump into the site. There's not a lot to see at this point, but I'll show you that, and then we'll talk about next steps, action items. So this is me. I'm Josh Rosenberg. I'm located in Colorado. I do not have a fire background. My background really is in just project management. And so, and honestly, I'm not an expert in the tool. So a lot of what I'm going to be doing, if you ever have questions, which is totally fine, is I'm going to connect you with the right people or find the answers for you. So my main job really is to connect you with our product specialists and have them help you configure the system. And there are a few things that you will be providing me or your departments will be providing me. And then we'll also have some updates, some check-ins along the way to see if everyone's doing well and up to date and where we should all be. Cool. With that said, I will let both of you introduce yourself. If you want to share your titles, role in the department, role in this implementation, and then we'll keep going.
Sure. Chad Homme, and I'm the Fire Communications Coordinator here. So I serve all the fire agencies in the county. 29 years with public safety agencies and done several RMS implementations.
Great.
Chris Parnell, I'm the Deputy Chief for Stanislaus County Fire Warden. 20th year in the fire service, and this will be my first big implementation with Chad on RMS.
Cool. Okay. And I know you have the office of the fire warden.
Right.
And
that's primarily who we're dealing. That's who. So Chad and I are in the fire division. I'm the chief of the fire division. So it's under Stanislaus County OES. The whole thing is, but basically you're dealing with the fire warden division.
Okay. And would you, in our system, we have like a parent-child relationships. Is the office of the fire warden, would that be considered the parent of the other departments going through, or will there? Okay.
Yep.
Cool. I just want to make sure I set it up correctly for you. And then, okay. And you will as well, I mean, you're going to be using the tool for your office as well, or is it really just to have like a view of all the other departments? Does that make sense?
Yeah, both. We will be using the tools as well.
Okay, perfect.
Countywide fire prevention's under our agency as well.
Say that again.
Countywide fire prevention is under our agency as well.
Countywide fire prevention, is that its own? Can you talk to me about that? Sorry.
It's part of the fire division, but they do all the fire prevention for all of the fire agencies that are going to be in this system. That's
got it. So they're going to be, they report within the office of the fire warden. They're going to be using your account.
Yes.
To do all that. Got it. Yeah, I think I saw. Yeah, Stanislaus Consolidated also has inspections, invoicing, and permitting, but I saw that, yeah, Office of Fire Warden, you guys have those, whereas everybody else, they do not.
Right.
Cool. And we'll talk about Consolidated in just a moment, because they're kind of a unique situation, it sounds like.
Yep.
Cool. So our implementation process is generally as follows, and we could work with you as needed, but we're doing the discovery and some planning today. And then what I'd like to do as well is schedule a kickoff for all the department leads that will be managing their individual departments, potentially making sure all the parts are in place. I understand, not everybody may have, they may be delegating different parts of the tool to different people. That's totally fine. But we will want like a central person from each department that you and also I could hold accountable for getting this stuff done. So we'll want to schedule a kickoff for that probably. We'll talk about that more in a little. But configuration optimization, each module will have its own configuration calls. And then some modules will have optimization, which essentially just means testing and confirming it's set up right. Hey, Nicholas.
Hey, good morning, guys. Sorry, I'm
Good morning. Good morning.
We already kicked off and did some introductions, so I think they already know you, so I don't.
Is that Chief Hartnell on the line?
It is, yep.
We've never met Nick. No idea who this guy is.
All right. And then data migration is essentially going to start sooner than later, and we'll probably go through the whole process, but we'll be getting both data that you'll need for configuration, such as personnel data, apparatus data, equipment, things like that. And then we'll also get historic data from you that you'll want to import. And that what you want to import historically is going to be up to you. Some people like importing everything. Some people like to import last few years. Some people are saying, no, this is a good time to start over, depending on what our current system is. So we'll have a discussion on what you'd like to do around data migration. And then training, you'll work with our training team to figure out how you want to use your training hours. I think you have, let's see, I'm looking at this, up to 45 hours online, as well as up to 5 days on site. With 2 of our trainers. And so I'll connect you with our training team in a little bit, and you'll decide how you want to use those hours, because we could be very flexible on what makes sense for your organizations. And of course you'll go live, and then you'll get support. We have online support as well as phone support, email support. You'll get assigned a client success manager that will help you understand, make sure you're using the tool most efficiently, as well as help get you questions answered and whatnot. Any questions on the process?
So far, so good.
Cool. Yeah, so we have I just listed your departments out. The only things I wanted to mention on this slide is it looked like Patterson already has an account, as well as Wes Stanislaus. And that they've both been using it. I haven't given a deep dive into their accounts just yet, but because of that, we'll probably still just invite them and do everything as if they're new and let them kind of decide what they want to join and what they want, how they want to participate in these modules we're going through. Do you have any extra thoughts on those 2 particular accounts?
I think they'll be happy to participate, and I've worked with Chief Fry, Hakola, and Amy out there, and I think it would be good to include them.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, I
That
assumed we
matches
were. Yeah.
That matches what I spoke about with Chief Cola, and I think there's a little cleanup because obviously because ultimately like the command staff for West Stanislaus and Patterson is shared, right, guys?
Right.
Yeah. And so I think there's going to be like a little bit of cleanup in terms of cleaning up the West Stanislaus account in terms of users and of a couple different elements of it. But I think they would all benefit from being included in the process. Obviously, they're going to be way ahead of the game. But, we just met with Jeff the other like a week ago, last week, to help him iron out some mandatory and some scheduling configurations and setup, and it worked out really well. So I think there are things like tailoring items in these various modules that everyone is getting that they could benefit from, and we could just kind of defer to them for where they want to, what elements of our overall platform they want to revisit or refine.
Yep. Perfect.
Oh, Yeah, good point there.
Perfect.
Turlock Rural is missing from your list of agencies there.
Ooh. Okay.
Oh, okay.
That is on me. I missed them when I was typing this. Give me 1 second. Turlock. Okay. Okay, give me just making some notes over here. I gotta.
They're just handling the unincorporated area around Turlock, I imagine.
Exactly. And they were in our original list of agencies. So like Turlock
Right.
City is separate than Turlock Rural, and Turlock City, I believe, uses First Due already, but they're out of a different
Yep.
dispatch center than us.
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
that tracks.
So that brings me to my next thing. So Turlock, Modesto, and Stanislaus Consolidated. I'm working with Kane on, and they're kind of running separate from everybody
Yeah, they just have
for
separate
the most part.
contracts. Yeah.
They are, so what makes it a little strange is they are on your contract, but they're kind of running with those other departments, which is fine. And they have a different, essentially, yeah, CAD or a different account with that. Will you want consolidated under your account as a parent account?
Yeah.
Like, do you have much to do with them?
Yeah, we would still need to be able to access all their stuff, pull the data, and
All right.
for prevention and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Okay.
Can we just talk CADs real quickly? Obviously, everybody on this list here is using, your feature, Central Square CAD, correct? And then I just want to make sure my understanding is correct when it comes to the CAD being used by the city of Turlock and the city of Modesto. We just
The city of Modesto is under our Central Square CAD. The only one that's different is City of Turlock, which they're under Central Square CAD as well, but just different dispatch center.
got it.
So
Okay.
City of Turlock is not operating as a user of our Central Square here. They've got their own.
Got it.
But as far as like a CAD to RMS interface, Modesto Consolidated all use the same interface that we're using here on the county agency. Just Turlock City would be different.
Got it. Does that make sense, Josh?
Yeah, so Turlock has its own dispatch. You guys, everybody else has working under a different dispatch than Turlock, but you all use
Yep.
Central Square.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, so I've already, just so you know, we've started the CAD process, the integration for Consolidated, and we'll start that for everybody else after this call. So we'll get that going. Well, I'll get to that in a little bit. I will need some information around that from you. And then with the CAD, you are planning on doing a bidirectional CAD with them, which we are still building. So my question would be, in the meantime, do you want to do just the single directional CAD with them while we're waiting for the bidirectional, or did you just want to plan to wait until the bidirectional is up and running before you go live?
Well, I'll let you guys speak. Sorry.
No. Go ahead.
I was gonna say my suggestion is to set up like a more of the standard, the one way initially, and then just again to facilitate instant documentation and some of the other priorities that we have. But then adding on the bidirectional piece as soon as it's ready. Do you guys agree over there?
Because we'll need that for the responder application. But yes,
yeah, for responder and nearest and all of the instant documentation stuff, we definitely want to. I think it's really important to get that up and running as soon as possible so that we can build our parsers out on our end, and then continue to kind of expand it as soon as Central Square gets their shit together. But yeah, we're working very closely on the deal down here, and they have made some forward progress. It took a while for Central Square to get back to us with a couple different things that we've built and actually give us the test environment. You can imagine, it took them a little while to spin up even a test environment so we can start thoroughly testing the bidirectional stuff that we've built out so far. And we're in that refinement phase right now, but I think it's still good to focus for this implementation on getting a basic standard kind of CAD integration set up and then expanding it as our capabilities continue to evolve with Central Square.
Yeah, I
Agreed.
agree.
All right,
Cool.
cool. Let's see. Yeah, we'll come back. Okay, so let's talk about your current softwares and either when they expire or when you hope to go live with different modules. What are you currently using?
For records management, we're using Zoll Fire RMS.
Okay.
For fire prevention, we use a program called Streamline.
Okay.
Chris, is there? I think that's all.
Yeah, and then we use like active 911. But mobile responder will take the place of that.
And there's that, is it G2 station alerting that some
Yeah,
of these
G2.
agencies? Yeah.
Yeah, G2 station alerting app, which mobile responder will replace that as well.
Mhm.
Okay.
I think
All
that's
right.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you, sorry.
Our new CAD go live is, and I'm sure you've heard this from Consolidated and Modesto, is September 15th.
Okay. Yep.
And so we would like to have this go live. Well, it can go live whenever it's ready, but we would like to have this dumping into the new CAD dumping straight into this from the go live, if that makes sense.
Yep. And are you planning on going live with Nearest or Enfers? I'm trying to see
Honestly, I would say Nicholas, I would kind of lean on you, but I would say we should just migrate to Nearest as well because we're going to be forced to it January of 26. So we might as well just be proactive and do it now.
I would agree with you 100%. I think that makes the most sense.
Yeah, that's what I'd typically recommend. I know it looks like I'm looking at California's rollout schedule. Nearest is supposed to be in November, but some states I know you could get permission to go live with it sooner.
Yeah, I
So
think
that may
Red
be
in
something you
California is
wanna,
going pretty soon. To make the switch over to Nearest, they're one of our customers that's is like requested to be an early adopter.
yeah.
There's
Okay,
a couple in California that are doing it. And then Josh, just for your own like record keeping, I just dropped a quick little screenshot in here of the existing components that are used by the OES and all the agencies here.
cool. Yep, I see it. Thank you. All right. And then let's see. So one thing I will want is the department points of contact. So if there's multiple, that's fine, but just who under each department will be running the implementation for that department as well as their email addresses. So if you could just send me a list after this call, that would work. And then we'll get to scheduling a call with them at the end of this call. So the dispatch center, so who is your dispatch center?
Stanislaus Regional 911.
Okay, regional. And is there a contact for that I could list to get our CAD integration going?
Or
In
Rebecca's
an email.
cat part. So
Yeah.
yeah, do you want us to email it to you or let me get it and I'll drop it in the chat.
Yep, that works. And then the boundaries, let me show you what I have. So one thing that we'll need is essentially a boundary file for each department. But I was given this from when I started implementing Turlock and Modesto, and so I want to show you what we have here. So let's see. I'm assuming what's here, like if I highlight those four, like that would be
Yeah, that's Burbank's area. Yeah.
the paradise. Yeah.
I'm not sure that's the current. His team would be.
Yeah, we'll make sure that you have the current one.
Okay. Yeah. If you want to send me the current one, that would be great. And then what I'll do is once I have that, I will highlight the areas associated to what it looks like the names, and then I'll send you each of those highlighted areas and say, does this look correct? And then once you confirm that, then I will send that in. I'm trying to see if there's anybody I think is missing here. I see
The only-
keys.
The only one that will be kind of maybe abnormal, if I'm assuming correctly, would be the office of the fire warden. Because, oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, is that, I'm assuming you're just gonna have access to everybody, right?
Correct. It's countywide.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Cool. Let's see.
But the rest of them will
Turlock
have like their own.
Rural.
The rest of these individual agencies will have like essentially like first two are jurisdictional boundaries that we want to build out. But the fire warden will have a much larger kind of all-encompassing boundary.
Okay.
Are there any donut holes, guys, that we want to cut out from like from an office of the fire warden perspective? Are there any like donut holes for cities that we want to cut the fire warden out of, or just kind of holistically give them access to the entire county so that they can go and do an inspection wherever they want?
Yeah, I think the just entire countywide.
Okay, cool. That makes it easier.
Okay. And then the one thing or the one group I don't see on here, and maybe there's an updated one with it, is, let's see, Newman. I'm not
Yeah.
seeing Newman on here. Are they?
They should be on there. We will we'll make sure we get you the updated one.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
And then, yep. And like I said, I'll send you images back and essentially like this, and take a screenshot of this and say, is this so and so? And so I'll do that for everybody.
Okay.
All right. We talked about that and that. All right, let me show you. So this is monday.com. This is our project management tool. I will add both of you on here. Okay, I see. Let's see. Oh, there's Rebecca. Perfect. Just copying that over. Okay, so I'll add both of you on here. When you have access, you're not going to have everything that you see here. There's just too much. You don't need everything.
Okay.
And then you'll also have access to any particular task that I give you access to. So in this case, you're considered the parent contact, so I'll list both of you under there. And then whenever the contacts for each department need access to specific items, I will list them under fire department, and then first due is listed here. And then the account name, if it's for everybody, I'm just going to list a generic Stanislaus County. If it's for particular people, I will list those county names. That's probably less important for you and more important for us internally. We do have a project status here. This is something I will ask that you don't mess with, because depending on the status, it could trigger different things on the back end. So that's something I will deal with, but it is there for you to see where we're at. But you don't need to be updating that.
Yeah.
I will list our timelines associated to each task. And then what's probably most important for you guys, to look at is if there's ever files you need to upload, and I will show you this in a moment, for like different workbooks for your personnel, you will upload them here. And then once you upload it there, it actually triggers something for me to say, hey, you've uploaded something, and I could go look at it.
Okay.
So the file column is important. The how-to guide, sometimes if you forget how to do something or want to know how to do something, how-to guides is good to look at. Whenever there's a meeting recording, I will post it here. And then any notes that are associated to a call or something else is listed under this like plus sign. And there's like updates. So we'll put in notes there as well. And then just so you know, those are the most important things, but just so you know, there's like a checklist of all of your departments listed over here. That sometimes we'll keep track of who did this particular thing, and I'll mark it off there. Let me think. Yeah, so that's how the columns are organized. The rest of this is organized into essentially modules or different just sections. So you could see meetings here. I had that scheduled. That is now complete. We'll schedule your next discovery meeting with all the departments, and then we'll schedule our first update as well. We have workbooks that I'm going to ask for. I'll come back to that in a minute. Data management, this is other imports, and when I work with our data management team, we'll have any CAD updates listed under here. I'm not going to go into those too much, but then we have our modules listed out. Each module is going to be, it'll start, again, you're not going to have access to all of this because some of this is tasked for me or the product manager, the product specialist to deal with. But whenever there's a call or task for you, we will put your name there so you could have access to it. But essentially what happens is I will schedule the first call with your team and the product specialist. And then after that, the product specialist normally schedules out the rest of their calls. And typically there's at least one configuration call. Sometimes there's more, sometimes there's optimization calls, sometimes there is not. And then once we have that, if people, because you're a multi-agency going through all together, if a certain agency can't join that call, that's fine. We're going to record every call, and they will just be tasked to essentially watch the recording and turn in any assignments or do anything more on their own if they cannot make the live call. I definitely recommend doing live call because they could ask questions in real time as opposed to emailing questions afterwards.
Yep.
With that said, there's a few other things at the bottom you don't need to worry about for now. We'll get into that later. Let's talk about workbooks. So the first things we need to really get us started on some of these modules are ranks, personnel, and users, and I'll show you that in a second. A list of your apparatus, dispatch incident types, and aiding departments. So I've listed that out for each of the departments. Since you guys are also going through, I have the office of the fire warden up here, and again, I'll put you on here. Because you guys are over everything, you're going to be listed under the parent all the time, so it might be a lot, but whenever it's your tasks, I'll list you also under here. To see what these are, we have workbooks to fill out for this, and I've listed a link here, and it's essentially the same link for all of that. But on the link, there's some how-to guides as well as the workbooks. So you could read through this. I'm not going to go through everything, but if you forget what we talk about today or have more questions, the guides will help you. But I'm going to click on the US import. And then what I recommend is just selecting all of them and then saying download. And then when you download, you'll fill it out and then you'll put it in these files. You'll upload it once you're done in those files. And you could see I started working with Consolidated. They've provided their files as well. So you can see how they're, and actually they just got me this today, so I am working on it. So let me show you some of these workbooks.
Before you
And-
jump into that, Jeff, I
Yeah.
actually have to run another meeting that I'm on, but I just want to just lay this out there. Chris and Chad, you guys know you can always reach out to me throughout the process and John. But if there's anything I can do along the way to add clarity or help you guys out, please just feel free. I'm a phone call away.
Perfect. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you.
All right, thanks,
Thanks,
Nicholas.
See you.
So, you guys could start working on this now. When I meet with the other departments, I'll go over this with them and they could fill out their own, unless there's a certain workbook that will be the same for everybody. And
Yeah. So a lot of these, like the ranks and stuff like that, is going to be same all countywide.
okay,
So
The only difference is, I mean, there's going to be some agencies that don't have a couple people in these positions, like a
Got
fire
it.
marshal and an assistant fire marshal and a fire investigator. There'll be,
Yep.
there's going to be some departments that won't have them.
that makes sense. And we could still list them and they just don't use them.
That's kind of what I'm
Um,
thinking. Do it global.
Okay, and these are just our defaults. What I would ask is on the ranks tab, just where you list what you guys actually use. You could delete these or add on to it or change the shortcode if you want to do that. If you know the hex code, or if you know a hex code you want associated to that role, you could add in that 6-digit number as well. That you don't have to do that. Really all we need is the name and the shortcode.
okay.
Yeah, because I don't know what the hex codes would be.
Yeah, and honestly, most clients I've worked with don't even use that. So
Okay, I'm thinking we probably don't.
yeah, and if you change your mind later, you could always add it directly on later. That's not a big deal. This tab is probably the most important on here. It's the ranks-personnel-users. Every department's going to be different on this. The red columns are the ones that are required. So people do need an email address in here associated to them. If you don't have their email or they don't have an email, you could just make a generic one for them. So let's pretend John Adams doesn't have an email. You could do like, what's that word? Just like placeholder John Adams at Stanislaus.com or something. And really
can
that's
multiple people have the same email address or no?
no, each person needs to be unique because this is what they're going to log in with.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yep. So that will need to be unique. Here's one catch. And I hope First Do changes this soon, is if someone needs to log into multiple departments. So for you guys as a parent account, we'll give you access to this account and then you'll have access to all of everything. So this isn't a big deal for you guys. But for someone that needs access to 2 child accounts, essentially, so for instance, the West, Stanislaus, and who's the one with the same, is it Patterson? If someone needs to log into both of those, they need different email addresses. So that's kind of a catch.
Got that with Zoll right now. We've been kind of working around that with our existing Zoll. I
Okay.
run into the exact same issue with Patterson and West Van.
Okay, I know a lot of them are already in the system for those 2, so that may not be an issue. But I did want to bring that up. I wish that gets changed soon because that's kind of a headache.
With us as the parents over it all, are we able to have the one login, but we can select like Office of the Fire Warden or Burbank Paradise Fire Department and pull up their stuff?
Yeah, so I will show you. Well, I really need to set it up first before I show you how it works, but
Okay, yeah, no worries.
I'll give you an example. So essentially you'll log in and you'll have the Fire Warden account up. That'll be like your landing page. And so you'll have all the modules here for you. When you run a report, you could run a report for your individual account or for everybody all together.
Okay.
And then if you want to go look at another account, you would click up here, search for that account name, or, you know, if you want Houston, you'd search Houston, it'll come up, you click on it, and all of a sudden you're in Houston's account.
Gotcha. Okay, perfect.
Yep. Yeah, let me come back here. Or not there. The field crew service provider, this is if someone essentially is going into the field ever, or it's basically not in like an admin or just like someone that stays in the office and supports, right? It's somebody potentially that you're going to want to list on incident report, like going to an incident or anything
Gotcha.
like that. Most people will probably be a Y for yes, it's an N for no.
Okay.
But that's what this field is.
So the red ones on that on line one there, the red ones are the mandatory ones that you have to have.
Correct.
Exactly. Yep. And I recommend if you do have the blue to put that in, it's easier to get it in now than later. But if you don't, that's fine as well. You could just leave it blank.
Position could title rules, for
Yeah.
example.
Yeah.
So we should have pretty much all this information.
Okay, cool. And
And
there's a lot. You don't need it all, just whatever you want to fill in.
Okay.
Yep.
These other tabs, so this one's just ease of use. This is a drop-down field. Well, let me rephrase this. I don't know, you guys aren't doing, are you doing EMS?
No, only
No, you're not.
consolidated.
Okay,
Only
yeah, so
consolidated is.
that's right. So you don't need that. The users will get brought in from this. You really don't need to look at this unless there's, and trying to think of how to say this. So if we bring someone in as a personnel, they're going to be brought in as a user.
Makes sense.
If you need additional things that aren't people, that needs to be a user, but they're not personnel. So sometimes you'll have like an iPad in an apparatus that stays in an apparatus, and you know, you want that unit as a user, so anyone could log in when they're on that apparatus. That's what you would want to add them as a separate thing.
And could those be as simple as like the name? We could just put like Woodland Engine 40, or just put Engine
Yep.
47, but it needs to have its own email though, correct?
Correct. And again, the email
Okay.
doesn't necessarily have to work. It just that's what they would need to log
Email
in.
doesn't have to work. It's just for the login.
We just
Yep.
gotta put an
Okay.
address in there.
Okay. Perfect.
So we'll say
Yep.
like
Engine,
stanlogin.com or
Okay,
stan
good, good.
RMS.
because each email has to be different.
Yep.
So you could do
Yes.
like Engine 47 at stanoes.com.
Exactly.
And then that
Yep.
could be
Engine 48 at Stan OES.
all right. Perfect.
Yep. Exactly.
And I would recommend if you do want to add those, wait until you add your personnel first, because that will
Yep.
fill out this. And it looks like this needs to, how many people do you have in the office of the fire warden?
Well, 25.
maybe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's fine. We have enough. So yeah,
Yeah,
I would,
each agency is going to be like around probably at the most probably 30 at the most
Okay.
well, by the time you add the user in there, some of the engines, I would say no more than 50 for each agency.
Because I don't
No
think they're
problem.
gonna add their regular firefighters. I think it'll be engineer and captain that they'll want here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's up to them.
No,
but-
you'll want everybody in here.
yeah, and anyone, yeah, pretty much
Oh.
everybody, because you're going to be using scheduling as well.
Yep.
Um,
All that.
so yeah,
Yep.
add in the personnel first before you come to the user tab, and then go
Okay.
to the bottom where that is, and then you could add in your,
What we'll
apparatus.
probably end up doing is just giving the ranks and personnel thing and giving that to the agencies, let them fill it out, and then we'll fill in the other user import like the engines for them, so it doesn't confuse them.
Do you have the ranks of personnel for everybody, or do you want them filling that out?
We don't have all the ranks. We don't have all the information, so what we'll probably do
Okay.
is, because we could,
We'll send a template to the departments. and
Yeah.
that'll help. We'll probably wind up filling it out for them, but we need something to send them, and they'll send us a roster and we can.
yeah,
Got
document
it.
out.
Okay. Cool. That's a good way to do it. Another workbook is the apparatus. This one's pretty straightforward, I think, but you have the red that's needed and the blue that is optional. So yeah, you have the name of the what you wanna call it. The UL number is going to be what dispatch, how it comes through dispatch. And then apparatus type code and primary use code. You don't see it on this, but these are actually drop downs. So you'll select from the list that we have for these.
okay, perfect.
And then we have dispatch incident types. You'll put in the code that you use for your dispatch incident, the description for it. And then again, this is a drop down. So there'll be different options you could select to put it into different, essentially groups.
Okay,
And then if you want to put in, I mean, you're going to be using nearest, so you could just leave that blank actually for now.
Okay.
This is the only tab you need to worry about for this.
gotcha.
And then aiding departments, you will want the department name or sorry, the first thing, a department, just custom is fine. You could just leave that as custom for everything or just leave it blank. I'll fill that in. You'll want the name of the department. Well, they are going to be switching to nearest, so we probably don't have that at this point. So you could leave that blank. The state, and then the aid type and aid type code. Again, these are drop downs, but it'll ask you if this is an automatic aid or mutual aid, or both. And so most people, I feel like I've seen just use both on there, but you have the option for that. And I'm guessing most of your departments, this will just be everybody in the county, but sometimes there'll be, if someone's on the edge of a county and there's another county that potentially helps out. So my
Yep.
question for you would be, does that ever happen, or is it?
It
will this
does, yeah.
only
So we'll
be-
get like Escalon Fire Department, which is right outside of our county. We'll get mutual aid from them sometimes.
Okay, and what I've seen some departments do in your situation with multi-agencies is just list those for everybody, and then so they're in there, but people don't have to use them. So if you want to keep it simple and you guys just want to fill this out for everybody, just list anytime any department anywhere would help you guys or you help them, and we could put it in for all your departments so they don't have to fill it out. Unless
Perfect. That's what we'll do.
that's okay.
Because it'll be global.
Let's
And
see.
how
So
hard is it
I'm
down
guessing
the
everyone's.
road?
Sorry, say that again.
I was just going to say, how hard is it down the road that we realize, oh, we neglected to put in such and such?
Very
and-
easy to fill out.
Okay, good.
Yep, it's super easy. And then I'm guessing you all have the same dispatch incident types.
Yes.
Okay,
Even
so
like the same as like consolidated.
okay, cool. So let me see what, because Consolidated did provide something. Let's see if this opens here. I could send you what they provided me.
Yeah, those are all our same ones.
Okay, so you could even just skip on that and I will upload this in for everybody, unless you
Okay.
want to review it first.
No, those I can tell right there. Those are all the same.
Okay, let me make a note here. Okay, that makes things a little easier for everybody. So really the biggest things then, let's come back here. You guys are going to fill out the aiding departments for everybody. And then each department will need its own apparatus workbook and its own ranks and personnel, which you're gonna send these to everybody, or do you want me to go over those on our
Yeah,
call?
we'll take care of all of these. We'll take care of getting all these. That way they're correct. And we have a lot of the information, so we can get all that information for you.
Perfect. The last thing on here I want to show you. So we're not going to do all these just yet. Some of these we'll get to in a little. But again, you're going to send me the shapefile.
Yep.
But occupancies are good to get in soon as well. So when I'm saying occupancies, we're really looking just for addresses at this point, addresses and maybe like business name. I'm assuming you're going to want to load in occupancies. Is that right?
Yeah,
I would assume.
And this is coming from Zoll. Is that correct? Or will it be both from Zoll and
it'd be both Zoll and Streamline.
Streamline? Okay. Um, do you have that list at the county level, or will each department need to be providing me those lists?
No, we should have that list at the county level.
Okay, cool. If you
Okay.
want to export those from both of those systems,
Yeah.
and what we'll need to be able to import, and then once the occupancies get imported, sorry, I'm trying to say too many things at once. What we need for the imports to work is a complete address. So that includes street address, city, state, and zip code, or latitude and longitude lines. So they need one or the other of that. But in order for it to work, we need those. So we'll need the name of the business or occupancy as well as the address to get started. And then once we have that, what we do is we import the contacts on top of that, and then we start importing historic data on top of those. So everything will need an ID to match when we start importing the other data on top of it. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, that's another thing you could work on right now. Don't worry about these other stuff. We'll get to it. We'll start talking about it on our next call, but we'll want occupancies in first. So if you could get the download from Zoll and then one from Streamline, we could start working on that.
I'm thinking those will come from GIS occupancies.
I think so.
Because everything
Yeah.
validates down there, and that's going to be more accurate than pulling from everybody's databases.
Yep.
Yep. Okay.
Cool. Let me think. Oh, the last thing before we get back to the action items and scheduling is what we're gonna normally ask each department to do this. I'll leave this up to you how I do it. Let me actually pull in let's get to your account. Let's see. I think that's the admin. Let's see if it is. Nope, that is not the admin. There we go. Okay. So I will give you access to First Due today as well. So you'll get access to Monday, and you'll get just tons of emails from Monday, because anytime I add you to a line item, you get an email for it. If that's
Okay.
annoying, you could, within the email, you could say unsubscribe from this, but I'll leave that up to you. Really, you get a lot up front, and then after that, it's not that many. So, but then I'll also give you access to First Due. What you'll want to do is, if under admin agency setup, you could come in here. I mean, if you want to list your department type, you can, but I think the biggest thing for this is just add your logo.
Thank
And then again, under admin there's a station list. You'll want to add any physical location or station
Okay.
in here. If you want to do this for every department, I mean, yourselves, you're welcome to go in, find the other departments and enter those, or you could send me a list. I will need, again, what you want it to be called and the full address. Or you could just wait for the departments to fill this out themselves. Do you have a preference for how the stations get added?
We'll probably, it's not too many, so we'll probably work on that between Chad and I. That's something we can knock out pretty quick.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
not that many stations.
Okay, and I think all of your departments are in except Turlock Rural, which I will add today.
Okay.
So if you do go up here and switch between, you should be able to get in
And
there.
we can do the same as add the logo for them and all that kind of stuff.
You can, yep.
Cool.
Perfect.
Yep. And that's it for that. And so what I will do today is I will send you an email with your action items. Oh, I'm gonna get out of this and add on, let's see. So you'll send me the department contacts. The shapefile, we talked about that. We have the CAD information, so we don't need that. I'm gonna say start on workbooks. It's personnel, apparatus, and aiding departments. And then for, oh yeah, occupancy, imports. And then there's one, what I just said, oh, add stations logos to first do. So you got a lot, you got a big list of action items. I will add you guys to Monday to first do today. We need to schedule our kickoff for all the departments, and then I'd like to have just another call after that kickoff with you two. And then I will also send an email.
Cool.
Oh, and then let
Sounds
me
good.
actually, and add in dispatch codes. And then I need to create Turlock Rural. Okay. Cool. Any questions before we schedule our next two calls?
No, I don't think so.
Pretty straightforward.
Good, good, good. All right. What is wrong with my calendar? Oh, there we go. So when would you like to have the all the department kickoff?
We are both gone next.
Chad and I are both on vacation next week.
Okay.
I do have a meeting with all of those chiefs on the 7th. So you think maybe the week after, Chad, like the week of the 11th?
That would be perfect.
Is that pushing it out too far, do you think?
Because we should be able to have you all this other stuff prior to that.
It's, I mean, let me think of the time. So, I mean, if we're trying to go live September 5th with some stuff, that's kind of pushing it.
Okay.
September.
If we could meet the week after you guys are on vacation.
Like the 31st, 2 weeks from today?
Yeah, I could do that. Do you want the same time?
Yeah. Yeah. And just give you a heads up, don't be surprised that if a lot of the agencies are all volunteer departments, so they're going to rely on Chat and I to do all the work for them.
Got it.
So that's why some of the stuff Chad and I are like, hey, we'll just get that done for you.
Okay.
But so don't be surprised if we send it out only a couple will call in, because some are pretty active and the other ones just rely on Chad or I to do everything for them.
Yep. And one thing with a lot of these modules and configuration is when you set up one account, a lot of times you could say, okay, let's copy this one account's configuration into these other ones. And that will save you a lot of time as well. But each module will be slightly different. There may still be a few adjustments that you need to make, but that will save you a lot of time. But
Okay, cool.
I get that. I work with a lot of departments in your exact scenario, so.
Okay, good.
Okay, so that'll be, the 31st will be our all department kickoff. And then I would like to meet with both of you probably the week after.
That's
Yep.
fine.
Is
And that-
there,
Quick question on the all department kickoff. You'll have that on Teams, correct?
yes, yep, it'll be set up the same way we're doing today.
Okay, perfect.
Yep, and I'll send that out once you get me the list of everybody.
Yep.
Yes, yep, exactly. And then, yeah, the week after, when is good for you? Do you want to do the same time as well? On the 7th?
Sure.
Or if there's a better day? I know you have that meeting.
I
with all
got
the
yeah, I
departments
got
that
Chiefs
day.
meetings that day. Let's
Do you want to
do
meet on the Friday? Or before that?
Fridays don't really work. Does the Monday work? The 4th?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
could, I can't do noon, no, let's see, it's 10, I can't do 10 your time, but other than that, I'm pretty open.
I'm open all day on Monday.
So am I.
Do you want to
Uh,
do 11 your time?
Yeah,
Perfect.
that works.
All right. Okay, I will send that out in just a moment.
Perfect. And then Josh, quick question. When you add us to, you have on yours, you're gonna add us to the first year to be able to do the logos and all that kind of
Yep.
stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna get you added today. Yep.
Are we able to log in from our iPad and do that stuff from our iPad, or is it all
Mhm.
from your computer?
Nope, you could, yeah, log into via your iPad. I mean, if you go onto the internet, you could log into the iPad via that way.
Okay, perfect.
We do have an app
Yeah.
for the responder, but so when you get to the responder module and setup, that person will help you with that, but that's kind of a separate thing.
But that's down the road. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
One last question before we go. So if you want, typically the first things we work on are scheduling. This is what Consolidated is working on, scheduling, fire incident reporting, and assets. Do you want to schedule those calls for all the departments now, or should we just do that on the all department kickoff?
I would do that.
Should
on
we
the
wait to do that?
Yeah. Let's do it on the all department kickoff.
Okay. Okay, I thought that might be the case, but wanted to check. Cool. I will then, you'll see a bunch of emails coming from me or from our systems to you today. And then I'll
Okay.
send you an email recapping a lot of stuff at the end of the day too.
Okay. Perfect.
All right, great to meet you, and
All right.
we'll be in touch.
All right. Sounds
Great.
good. Nice to meet
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
All right. Bye.